Siman Ches if Yudalef. Eko mitzvahs talis koton leloivshoi al begodov. The main way that the mitzvah should be done is by wearing the talis koton, the tzitzis on top of his clothes, so that he'll always see it and remember the mitzvahs. We mentioned the whole point of tzitzis is to leman tizku v'atzem es mitzvah. So it's one of the few mitzvahs where the Torah actually gives the reason. It's supposed to see them and remember all the mitzvahs. So if it's covered, if they're underneath the clothes, one can't see them. So therefore, it should be visible. Let's see the mishavos of cotton chofei al begodov ubiksovim isa. So that's the Eliezer. The Eliezer writes the talis cotton tachas begodov, that the talis cotton should be underneath his clothes. Because the alkoponim sochshiyu had tzit-tzit mibachutz. So the Mogen says even though the Eliezer said should be underneath the clothes, however the tzit-tzit should be outside. So you can see them. People who are walking among goyim, yotzin bezeh, people who are walking among goyim, they don't want to show their tzitzis. They are yotzin if it's inside. However, at least during at the time they make the bracha, the tzitzis should be visible for daled amos. Sivkot Mechavov Yireu Kamot Tichsev V'Ru'isem Oisos Charitem, like it says in the pasuk, you're supposed to see the tzitzis and remember the mitzvahs. Therefore, they should be visible. The people who put them down into their pants. Not only are they not being mekayim the mitzvah of Risem Moshe that you're supposed to see them, they're denigrating the mitzvahs of Hashem, and they're going to get punished for this. The heter that if they're walking among goyim that they can hide their tzitzis, for that would be enough to put the tzitzis and stick it into the corner of the beged. Right? It's a bizzle that they put it down into their pants. It's a bizoin for the tzitzis. If they would have got a present from a human king that had on it the name of the king, they would enjoy wearing it in front of people. What's memhei? Shem memhei? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe it's talking about the Shem memhei of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kama misim chavdalet tzivhei. Kama miskambet ha'odam ha'noisi shemoy olov. Ramu Chazal says all the more so tzitzis, which is megamis to the Shem of Hashem, and we should feel respectable when we wear it. Ramu Chazal hazohi b'mitzvah tzitzis zoiche v'roi pnei shchina. It says in the Chazal say that someone who wears tzitzis is going to be zoiche to see the shchina, and it's also mashma that at the time when Mashiach comes, this will be a mitzvah that the Jews that receive Mashiach will be good to be mekayim this mitzvah.
They'll continue. It's not going to be mevutal. That's the idea.
Mitzuyon, meaning they're going to become it so well, meaning they become it in the Yodor with the tzitzis showing how they're supposed to feel that they're respectable with the tzitzis on. It brings a pasuk that sounds like that the goyim are going to come and hold on to the corner of our tzitzis. It brings another chazal about the incredible schar someone who's kind of tzitzis. So basically, the tzitzis should preferably be visible to be kind of the mitzvahs, because the mitzvah is that we should see them and remember the mitzvahs. If one's going among goyim and one's embarrassed to show it, then one can put it inside one's clothes, but one should make sure they're in a respectable place and not down inside one's pants, touching one's legs in a way that's not respectable.
Mina Stam, that'd be the same thing in Beis Chaim and Beis Kvaros, where we put our tzit-tzit.
Right, Beis Kvaros where we put our tzit-tzit in, as a vlog l'rosh. So yeah, one shouldn't put it down inside the pants. Yeah.
Put it like here or in the pockets.
Yeah, so once wearing a jacket, you can just put it in your pockets and you close the front button of the jacket, and it's not visible. Some tzitzits have a pocket in the corner where you can stick into the pocket. Right? Okay. Sif Yud Beis. Im yesh lo kama begodim shel arba kanfois, kulam chayovim b'tzitzis. If he has a number of clothes all with 4 corners, then they're all chayav in tzitzis. V'im novshal kulam b'loy hefsek, v'odatim mitchila al kulam lo yivarach el bracha achas. If he wears them all one after the other, and he intended at the beginning when he wore the first one, he put on the first one the intention of putting them all on, he should only wait and make one bracha. Im mafsek beineihem, tzorich levarach al kol achas v'achas. If, however, he does have a hesek between them, then he has to make a bracha on each one. Also, if he only had intention to put on one, and then he changes his mind and puts on more, then also he'd have to make a separate bracha. Similarly, if he took off the first one before before wearing the second one, also he'd have to make a bracha. Okay, let's continue this. So we saw three ways he'd have to make a separate bracha. If either he has a hefsek between them, or he didn't have in mind when he put on the first one to put on the second one, or he already took off the first one before to put him in the second one. Let's continue Sif Yud Gimel. Someone who puts on a talis cotton and he makes a bracha. And then he goes to the Beis HaKnesset, puts on the talis gadol, then he has to make a bracha on the talis gadol, because it's the halicha mibeis to the Beis HaKnesset chashiva hefsek, because walking from his house to the shul, that's a hefsek. And we just mentioned that if you have a hefsek between putting on 2 pairs of tzitzit, you have to make a separate bracha. Seeing as walking from his house to Beis HaKnesset is considered a hefsek, therefore he has to make a separate bracha on the talis gadol. And if, just before we continue, let's have a look at the Mishnah Berurah Koton Lamed Daled. Mishnah Berurah Koton Lamed Daled. That's 2 lines from the bottom. 2 lines from the bottom. V'achai odom choshash l'das asovim t'shina mokum lo yav hefsek. Chai odom holds that moving to a different place, like from your house to shul, is not considered a hefsek. It's not called a break. Al kein hech mishlo levorech, and therefore he says not to make a bracha. Unless the shul was very far from his home. Or if he didn't intend when he put on the talis cotton to put on the talis gadol. So we have here machlokas between the Shulchan Aruch and the Chai Adam, if changing places is called a hefsek or not. So we're choshesh for the Chai Adam that's not called a hefsek, and therefore this is why we mentioned I think twice previously, that we don't make a bracha on the talis cotton, we just make a bracha on the talis gadol, and that covers the talis cotton. And that's because generally, it's this, the Mishnah Berurah mentioned that the main reason is because generally one puts on the talis cotton in shul not long after the talis cotton, and it's based on the Chai Adam. Chai Adam holds that changing places is not called a hefsek, and therefore we don't make a bracha on the talis cotton.
But does that make an assumption that the only interruption you had is the travel? For instance, you didn't wash your hands, you didn't go to the bathroom, you didn't have a conversation in between. Are those considered a hefsek?
If it's a short hefsek, no, it'd have to be a large hefsek to be a problem. But anyway, we said also that the Mishnah Berurah mentions other reasons why we don't make a bracha on the talis cotton. We said because often the talis cotton people wear is not large enough to make a bracha on. We mentioned there's a minimum share. So this is one of the reasons. There's also other reasons. Right. So we just rely on the bracha of the talis gadol to part of the talis cotton. That's what we do. Let's continue with the Shulchan Aruch.
One last question. There's sometimes like Tisha B'Av, not very many, where you put the talis gadol on very late.
Right.
It could be like 6 hours difference. Right. In that situation, we still don't.
I think we still don't, but I'll check that for you. Now we're talking about checking out. We talked about shoes. I looked up about shoes. I saw that there's some that make it with the laces, like we mentioned. They don't have to wash their hands after touching laces. And they mentioned with boots, the part that goes up your leg. They mentioned that part also. it doesn't get dirty. It sounds like the rest of the whole shoe is a part that gets dirty, including the top of the shoe. It gets dirty, and therefore if one touches it, one should wash one's hands. Just the laces and the part that goes up the leg on the boot. Okay.
Part that's meant to be touched.
Sorry?
These are the parts that are meant to be touched.
What do you mean meant to be touched?
You need to pull boots up with the top of it, and you need to tie your shoes.
Right. Yeah, that's not the reason. The reason is because those parts aren't parts that are dirty. Yeah. Okay. So we're in the middle of the Shulchan Aruch. We're on the bottom line of the Shulchan Aruch. If he's going to daven at home, so if he's davening at home and he wasn't mafsik between with talking or with other things that you mentioned, if he talks, then it will be a hefsek. Then he doesn't make another bracha. We already mentioned that this is the Shulchan Aruch, the Mishabura we just mentioned says that we don't make a separate bracha.
So it's interesting the way he words it. So he said if he didn't do these things, right? But what if he did?
If he did, then he makes a separate bracha.
Then he does make a separate.
According to the Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
According to the Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
But we mentioned that the Mishabura says that we shouldn't.
Right.
Shouldn't say it
According to the
all.
Shulchan Aruch, you're correct. One does make a bracha. Mishabura says not to, based on the fact that generally there is not a hefsek. Generally, it's not a hefsek. In addition to the fact that some people, the talis kosher isn't always the correct shear. So with those two reasons together, he says we shouldn't make a bracha. We should rely on the bracha of the talis kosher. So if Yud Dalet, let's continue with the Shulchan Aruch. So if Yud Dalet, in Poshat Talisoi, afilo hoyodato lachzo lesatif boi miyad, tzorich levorich kesheyachzo v'yisatif boi. If he took off his talis, whenever we mention talis, there's no difference between talking about the talis or what we call the tzit-tzit, talis gold, talis cotton. We need all these halachas, it's the same halacha with all of them. Right? If he took off his talis, even if he had intention to put it on again, immediately, he has to make another bracha when he puts it on the second time.
This is only with the assumption that the talis katan is big enough to make a bracha.
This is talis katan.
No,
this is talis katan.
You're saying this applies to both.
Correct.
This is the assumption
again,
that the talis katan is big enough.
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Right. According to the opinion of the Mishabura, we don't make a bracha on talis katan. It would only be relevant in the case where the talis katan, like you said, it's big enough, and he knows he's not going to wear a talis katan that day. He knows he's not going to wear one. We mentioned if he's going to wear one, he doesn't make a bracha on talis katan. But if he no, it can also be relevant after that. No. It can be relevant all day. He's made it bracha on the talis katan in the morning, right? Then in the afternoon he takes off his talis katan, and then he's going to put it on again. Should he make a bracha or not? He's not going to wear talis katan again. He's not going to wear it. He wears talis katan in shachrit. Right. Later in the day he removes his talis katan. Now he puts it back on again. Should he make a bracha or not? Right?
Yeah,
if it's the correct shear, it has to be, like we said, it has to be the correct shear, the correct size. Yeah, it has to be the correct size. We'll learn more about the exact size. We'll learn more about that later. There's a separate simon on the correct size. Okay. Okay. So let's read the Shulchan Aruch again. In Poshat Talisa, afilo hoyodata lachzo lesatif b'miyad. If he took off his talis, even if he intention to putting it on again immediately, tzorich levorich kesheyachzo v'yisatif, he has to make a bracha when he puts it on again. That's the opinion of the Shulchan Aruch. He takes it off, puts it on again, new bracha. Hago v'yesh omim she'ein borochin im hoyodata lachzo lesatif b'miyad. The Gemara says that some hold that he doesn't make a bracha again if, when he took off the first one, he intended to. It's the same. When he took it off the first time, he had the intention of putting it on a second time. If when he took it off, he knew he was going to put it on again, he doesn't make a separate bracha. And some say that this, they qualify this opinion of the Ramah, the opinion put by the Ramah, and say that even if he had intention to put it on a second time, he only doesn't have to make another bracha if he has a talis cotton on him the whole time. So he's taking off his talis godo, he has intention to put it on again, and in addition to that he is wearing his talis cotton is still on him the whole time, then he doesn't make a bracha on the talis godo the second time. Okay?
For example, if someone has a son that's on the bar mitzvah, that's not married and doesn't have a talis,
right,
and he gets called up to an aliyah, and the father gives the son his talis to go up to the bima. When the father gets the talis back, does he have to make a new bracha?
That's an excellent example. That's super. So that's a super example. There he knows when he takes off he's going to put it on again, and he's still wearing his talis cotton the whole time. So he wouldn't make a bracha.
He would not make.
That's correct. Yeah. So let's have a look according to the second opinion. Right? We haven't yet seen the Mishnah Paschal's like it. We're going to see that now. Right? We've seen there's a few different opinions here, but that's correct according to the final opinion here. And then if we have a look at Sifkot Mishnah Paschal Lam Ches, we'll see the Mishnah actually Paschal's like this opinion. Mishnah Paschal Lam Ches, that's the bottom line. Davka Kishenishar.
Lamed Ches or Lamed He?
Lamed Ches. That's also on the bottom line.
Yeah.
Of the next page. So Davka Kishenishar. Hachonim Posku Kayesh Oimim Hazeh. We paskin like this. And this opinion, this Yesh Omim. After Maskid Ayoshim Hazeh Lo Yakshe Poshat Hatalis Hoyo Bistama. They say that this is only if when he puts it back on, it was Bistama, meaning either he knew he was going to put on the Talis Godo afterwards, or he wasn't sure. Then we say that if he still has a Talis Cotton on him, he hasn't his mind hasn't wandered from the mitzvah. However, if he didn't have a talis cotton on him, then mistama he's stopped thinking about the mitzvah. Sorry. That's correct. But if he had intention of putting it back on immediately, he knew he was going to put it on immediately, then he doesn't need to be wearing a talis cotton. Again, so as we said, if in the example of someone's taking it off to give to someone else to wear for an aliyah or for a mitzvah, there he knows he's going to put it on immediately. In that case, he wouldn't have to make a bracha even if he isn't wearing a talis cotton. Right? If he is wearing a talis cotton, then even if he's not sure if he's going to put it back on put it back on again, then he wouldn't make a bracha. Right? The only case where he would make another bracha, right, is if he knows that he's definitely not going to put it back on again. He has intention, he thinks he's not going to put it back on, he changes his mind. Right? Or if he's not sure if he's going to put it back on again, and he's not wearing a talis cotton. Right? In both the two cases, and make a new bracha. In most cases, he wouldn't. Right? Most of the cases, we take off a talis in the intention of putting back on again. I think generally, we only wear it for tefillah for a short amount of time during the tefillah. He thinks he's going to put it back on again. He wouldn't make another bracha.
That would include going to the Beis HaKisei. I presume that would include going to the Beis HaKisei. You take off your talis and then you put it back on when you come out.
We're going to talk about that now. Right? We're going to talk about that in the next. No, we're not going to. No, sorry. Talk about the Beis HaKisei. It's the same case with Beis HaKisei. It'd be the same halacha. Yeah, it'd be the same halacha with Beis HaKisei. I'm trying to think if it'd be relevant when one with a talis cotton, if one goes to sleep.
That also.
He's intended to put it back on again. Again, he wouldn't make a bracha if he's intending to put it back on. Maybe if one took it off intended to go to sleep and then one changes one mind, one suddenly decides to go out, that might be a case where he changes his mind, he wouldn't make a bracha, but it would have to be when it's still daytime.
That's right. The question is taking a nap Hesach Hadas? Or if you took it off and put it next to you, ready to put it on when you wake up?
So if it's a long time, it could be. That we'll have to talk about if it's a long time. Okay, let's continue. Sif Tesvov. Im noflo taliso sheloi b'miskavin, v'choyze misatif, tzorich levorich, if his talis fell off him. Right?
Unintentionally.
Yeah, unintentionally. Choyze misatif, tzorich levorich. Then he has to make a new bracha when he puts it back on. V'yusha noflo kulo, if it fell off entirely. But im noflo kulo, im lo noflo kulo, alpha pisha noflo ruba im tzorich levorich. If he managed to catch the last tzit-tzit, the last corner, so it hadn't entirely fallen off him, then he doesn't have to make another bracha.
What's the difference between a talis falling off and taking a talis off?
When it falls off, it's unintentional.
When you take it off,
he didn't intend to put it back on again.
It falls off.
Didn't intend to put it back on again because he never intended.
Because he never intended to take it off. Exactly. Okay. That's what the Mishnah explains in Sifkot Lamates, which just explains it, so we won't read it inside. But as it fell off, he didn't have intention to put it back on. the Mishabos of cotton mem, tzorich levarich, afilim lo yishem miyad, even if he puts it back on straight away, because when it fell off, he had no intention to put it back on because it fell off unintentionally. It fell off during shemoneh-esrei. Someone behind him put it back on top, back on him. Because he signed tefillas yotches in mashmesh tzit-tzit. When he finishes shemoneh-esrei, he should make another bracha. It should be mashmesh tzit-tzit and make a bracha. Mishabos of cotton mem aleph afal pishin of lo rubo hataz ve'eliyahu b'chol kinazeh v'gam agor mitzadei l'divrei hataz. The Taz and the Eliyahu and the Gur are all cholik on this, and they hold that even if most of it fell off, one should make another bracha. If most of the talis fell off, it's as if the whole talis fell off, you should make another bracha. Even according to Shulchan Aruch, if it fell off his whole body, he managed to catch it in his hands, then he should make another bracha. It's only the ikar mitzvah is to wear it, not just to hold it.
So if he manages to grab his shoulder, then it's already still on his shoulder, so it's still there.
So it's still there, and that's a machlokas. That's this machlokas. If you should make a bracha, another bracha or not.
This next piece is interesting.
In berachah ta'ala talis v'nofal miyodo kodim she's atepa. V'gebir v'lovshay ein tzorich levar shenis. So he made a bracha on the talis, and then he dropped it before he managed to put it on. And what does he do? He doesn't make another bracha. After he made the bracha, then the tzit-tzit snapped. He had tzit-tzit prepared and managed to fix it straight away, very, very efficiently. So in both these cases, after he made the bracha, either it snapped, he managed to fix it straight away, or it fell and he managed to pick it up straight away. In both of them, he doesn't have to make a bracha because there was no hesech hadas. He started making a bracha. Before he managed to finish the bracha, someone took the talis away from him, which fell in the fun He just started the beginning of the bracha. He started Baruch Atah Hashem Eloheinu melech haolam, and then someone grabbed the talis and he said, "That's my talis, is not yours." What should he do? He can finish off and immediately put on the tefillin.
This goes with the position that the bracha goes at achar ha-chasima.
That the bracha goes.
There's like a machlokas, whether when you start a bracha, like a Brei Priya Eitz, and you end with Brei Priya Dama.
Yeah.
So does it go on what you started or what
right,
you ended?
Right. Lechatchila one should have in mind when we'll see that. When the lechatchila one should have in mind when it starts the bracha is going to finish with. But as we're seeing in this case, with the Eved, it's okay. Right. Okay. It's 22. Should we stop here? Should we continue?
I'm okay today.
Okay.
Okay.
It says Zion. Someone who sleeps with his talis at night, he has to make a bracha on it in the morning, even if he didn't take it off. When he makes a bracha, he should first feel it, move around a little bit, and then make a bracha. Similarly, when he puts on his talis before daybreak, when puts on his talis before daybreak, we're going to see that Lila's loves on tzitzis. One doesn't wear tzitzis at night. That one cannot make a bracha on tzitzis at night. Not 100% correct. I said one doesn't wear tzitzis at night, and one should not make a bracha on tzitzis at night. We'll see why. And therefore, if he puts it on before daybreak, when it comes to alois hashachar, when it comes to daybreak, he should be mamashmesh in tzitzis and make a bracha. Mishnah Berurah says cotton mem beis. So the time lo laila lavs man tzitzis. So because laila is not the time of tzitzis, it's a hefsek. V'yish cholkim bezeh kim et ksus yoyim chayiv af balayla. Some hold that the machlokes rishonim if it's the time that matters, meaning during the day one wears tzitzis and during the night one doesn't, or if it's the beged, the type of clothing that matters, meaning one puts tzitzis on clothing one wears during the day, and one does not put tzitzis on clothing one wears at night clothing. Okay, so therefore, if one wears day clothing at night, right, we do wear it, but without a bracha, because it's a machlokes. If one's wearing the clothing one wears during the day, when it's nighttime, meaning after nightfall or before daybreak, one should wear the tzitzit without a bracha, and therefore one should only make the bracha. If one puts it on early in the morning before daybreak, one should only make the bracha after daybreak. Okay, Chose, kozman sheloi poshte. אבל אם פושטי עדס שלא ללוטשי תכף, צורך לבורך אחר כך כשלא ישל לכל העלמא. This is only if he didn't take it off. If he took it off and put it back on again without intention of re-wearing it, then he has to make another bracha l'kol alma. ומקום מקום לכתחילה נוכן נעשה איזה איזזוק כדי שתשחייב בברכה לכל alma משום ברכה שאין שיחה דס הפויצרים. היושם ביום שני הצהריים. Someone who sleeps in the day, he sleeps during the day. And he takes off his talis cotton. Right? This is what you asked, right? He's sleeping during the day, he takes off his talis cotton. There's a machlokes if this is considered a hesach hadas or not. Therefore, it's better to avoid this machlokes if it's called a hesach hadas. It's preferable that one should wear it while he's sleeping. Or at least cover himself while sleeping. If he takes it off, he should at least put it over him, right? So it's on top of the sheets. And therefore he doesn't need a bracha according to everyone.
So that sounds like on Yom Kippur when you wear your talis all day.
Yeah.
If there's a break and you take a nap, you're still wearing your talis cotton, so it's probably not a problem.
That's right. No, that's right. Yeah, now you're saying wearing your talis cotton. Yeah.
So this argues that you should not put tzit-tzit on night clothes.
You should not put tzitzis on
night clothes. Let's say you have a nightgown with four corners.
So we said that it's a machlokes. As we mentioned, this is a machlokes. It's a machlokes if the time is what's kovea, meaning one wears tzitzis only during the day and not during the night, irrelevant of what the clothing is, or if it's the beged, the garment that's kovea, right? So if you have both of them, if you have both of those together, then you don't put on tzitzis at all. Meaning, if you have a night clothing with four corners and you're wearing it only at night, then according to everyone, you don't put tzitzis on.
Right.
Right. If you're wearing day clothing during the day, according to everyone, you put tzitzis on with a bracha. If you have one or the other, right, then you would put tzitzis without a bracha. So these night clothing you're mentioning is four corners. If you're going to be wearing it during the day as well, meaning let's say, then you should put tzitzis on without a bracha.
Right.
If you're going to wearing it, maybe if you're going to be sleeping until after daybreak,
right,
then perhaps one should put tzitzis on without a bracha. That's an interesting question because then when day comes, you're sleeping. You're pot of mitzvahs. Could be if you take it off immediately when you wake up in the morning.
You're sleeping.
Straight away, as soon as you wake up, you'd have to take it off immediately. Could be okay then. But okay, fine. We'll continue tomorrow.
Well, the question is when you would say the bracha on tzit-tzit if you wake up in that situation.
When you made the bracha, would you have to clean your hands first?
You have to clean your hands, right? So.
But if we said you don't make the bracha, okay, we wouldn't make the bracha because it mentions it's a night garment. A night garment, it mentions there's only one of those two conditions, so you put it on without a bracha. Right. So you wouldn't make a bracha at all in that case.
But if you're wearing a day garment, let's say you're wearing katan and you're sleeping.
And you're sleeping, right?
So then you need to get up, wash your hands, say netilat yadayim, share your tzar. Would you need to say brachas?
No, you don't have to make any other bracha. Then you just be mamashmis. You just move the tzitzis, feel the tzitzis a bit, just feel them.
Right, and then make bracha at that point. Right. Okay, thank you. Okay.